Mr Speaker.
Chris Bishop.
Well, the National Party's not voting for this bill, so we don't support it. So that was a challenge that was laid down and a challenge that was accepted. We're not voting for the bill because it's not a good bill. Now, there are generally two types of bills, members' bills, that come before Parliament on a Wednesday, sir. There's genuine bills that are advanced in good faith by members to make generally small changes but consequential amendments to bills that actually make a difference for the lives of people. And I've got to say, usually it's the Green Party that advances those sort of bills. So the bill that's next on the order paper, sir, the Electricity Industry Small-Scale Renewable Distributed Generation Amendment Bill, I don't necessarily agree with, but is it a bill advanced in good faith by Gareth Hughes to deal with the interesting and important issue for the future of the New Zealand electricity industry about solar electricity. And there are other bills in the ballot as well. My colleague Kamaljeet Singh Bakshi has a bill to authorise the use of Kirpans or the carrying of Kirpan on flights. And of course David Bennett has the interestingly titled Private International Law Choice of Law in Tort Bill, which is a very important bill, and I, for one, am looking forward to that being drawn from the ballot and considering that on the Justice and Electoral Committee. So there are genuine bills. And then there are a second type of bill, and that's what I would classify this bill as falling into. Those are the sort of bills, as my colleague says, the showboater bills, the sort of more political bills, ones that are advanced for symbolic value only. They're highly political. Often, actually, the only real point of the bill is to get the name of the bill into the ballot. Sir. So, for example, Jacinda Ardern's Child Poverty Reduction and Eradication Bill. Now, I know for a fact that that bill does not do that. But, who would be opposed to that name? The name. Who's in favour of child poverty? No one, right? Who wants to reduce it? Everyone. Who wants to eradicate it? Everyone. So we're certainly not, the name is the point there. And that's the point with this bill. That's the point with this bill, sir. The Kiwibank bill. It's interestingly titled. It's got a good name. It's nice and simple. That's right, Chris. It's nice and simple. Let's all get behind Kiwibank. Except, sir, and this is where the bill falls down, because what this bill would do, let's be very clear, this bill would place Kiwibank, a state-owned enterprise, into the same constitutional realm as the entrenched provisions of the Electoral Act 1993. So Section 268 of the Electoral Act that says you can't alter the term of Parliament from 3 to 4 or 5 years, say, that one of those fundamental constitutional provisions, or, for example, that the fact that the voting age is 18, of fundamental critical importance to the democracy that we have in New Zealand. Apparently, the future of Kiwibank is so important, it is equivalent to there are about 5 clauses in the New Zealand Constitution in the Electoral Act that are entrenched, sir. It is on the par with that, according to Clayton Cosgrove. Well, sorry, that cannot be the case, as my colleague Paul Foster-Bell says that is ludicrous. And Mr Cosgrove, in his opening remarks, made reference to Dr Michael Cullen as the chair of Kiwibank. Now, sir, he is a scholar of epic proportions. He's a knight of the realm, as Paul Foster-Bell says. He loves the knights of the realm. He is a historian. He is a very learned man. He's a very learned man. And I'm going to venture to suggest that a man like Sir Michael Cullen, he may well believe in the importance of Kiwibank, but I highly doubt he thinks that Kiwibank is so important it should be basically entrenched in the New Zealand Constitution, sir. I highly doubt that. So, sir, the National Party will not be supporting this bill for the reasons that I've advanced and that my colleague David Bennett has advanced. The Labour Party forgets its history on this bill, on the history of Kiwibank. They really do. A little bit like paid parental leave, forced into it by the Alliance after the 1999 election, not a policy that the Labour Party advanced, and all of a sudden it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And of course they forget the 80s when the Labour Party advanced important macro and microeconomic reforms that made a difference to this country, when they sold off vast swathes of the New Zealand public sector for the benefit of New Zealanders. They forget that history, but I think I've said enough at this point, sir. So we won't be supporting this bill.
Order. The member's time has expired. I didn't want to interrupt the member in his final flow, but I do want to warn Mr Farfoy when he insults me like that, it hurts. Julianne Genter.